My grandmother, she took me to a graveyard, as I explained in my testimony. And when she took me to that graveyard, she used witchcraft and my soul got out of the body and I started now meeting with demons. She wanted my dad to marry another lady who was a sorcerer. And then the second reason is because my mother was prayerful, and every time she would pray, my grandmother's witchcraft would get disorganized.
And it appears as if they're doing all of this philanthropy. But over the years, as you rise through the levels, it will be finally revealed that the God they're serving is actually Lucifer.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my story. My name is Yvonne Kawera. Now last time we brought you an interesting story about Erica Mukisa. I'll pin the first and the second bit of the story right down here in the comment section. She talked about how she was initiated into devil worshipping, how she was delivered, and how she is living her life right now. And so many questions came up from that interview that you sent us, and we have all of them here. So we'll be asking those questions on this episode. Thank you so much for allowing us to interview this second time.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. And it's so nice to see you. You look nice.
Thanks. I think last time I was expecting, and by the grace of God, I gave birth.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You look very nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So when we came here last time, you talked to us about the experiences and some of the things you did while you were serving the enemy. And you mentioned that you were delivered after 18, when you hit 18 years.
Yes.
How was that deliverance process for you?
Yeah, it was a journey. It lasted 3 years, for 3 years. Yeah, when my mother noticed that something was wrong with me, she started now looking for pastors to pray for me. And she also started praying for me. She's an intercessor. So she started interceding for me. But my final day of delivery, of deliverance, my final day of deliverance, my mom involved different pastors and church members. So they prayed for me. It took a whole night for my soul to get back in my body. That night was a night of constant prayer. It got to a point where people were praying in shifts. Yeah, because they were now like, we have to see the end of this. After every time they would pray for me, there would be an attack, something would happen, and I would not get fully delivered. So this time they were tired of the whole situation. I was always sickly. As a result, I was always isolated. I used to run. You know, the Bible says that the wicked run when none pursueth them. So I would be in a place with my mom, and then I see things coming after me and I run. So sometimes I would be tied up. So this particular Friday, my mom and the pastors decided that we have to see the end of these attacks. We have to pray until she's fully delivered. So it was war, whereby they would see things falling from the wall. Nobody is pushing anything. I would shout. The whole neighborhood, you know, it is at night, and they are praying for me, and there are men holding me because I was violent. Yes, but eventually, through that prayer, God delivered me. My soul came back into my body, and how they found out that I was delivered. I started I started recognizing everybody, but I was talking like an 11-year-old child, yet I was 18, because my soul was taken when I was 11. So now when I came back into my body, my soul was not connecting with my body and my spirit. So I was talking about my primary 7 exams. I'm going to sit for my exams. I need to prepare. Give me my books. I want to revise. Where is my mom? You know, I was not remembering anything from there to my senior 4. So when my mom was told that now Erica is fully delivered, because she was not in the same place where I was being prayed for, but she was praying. She had to come the following day very early in the morning to see me. And when she came, I could not recognize her, my brother and my dad. I was running away from them because that period from 11 to 18 is a long period, and now these people who were younger are now looking older. And my brother now has developed a deep voice. He has beards. And the time I was initiated, my brother was very young. So they're introducing him to me, and I'm expecting a boy to come. I'm seeing a big man coming, and he's also scared of me because of the kind of pain I would cause him before my deliverance. So it took time. They had to pray for my spirit, soul, and body to blend. And that's how I started. Now, the first person I remembered was my mom. I remembered her because of the scar she had. And I was like, are you my mom? She said, yes, I'm your mom. Then that's the only person now I would trust from that day. My dad and my brother were strangers to me. And then eventually I remembered my dad. My brother was the last person I remembered, because I remembered my dad the following day in the evening. Then my brother, it took a week for me to remember him.
At what point did your mother notice that there was something wrong with you?
My mother, being a prayerful person, noticed that something was wrong with me from when I was small, but she had no idea that it was a spiritual thing. She thought maybe I was just rebellious, and it's something she needed to work on as a parent and prayerfully guide me into doing the right things. But as time went on, people started telling her they would see me performing in different places, in different concerts, and yet she 100% knew that I was always at home at night. I never used to go to club.
She could account for you. She could actually account for you in the house.
Yes.
But you were out there.
Yes, I would go and perform, and yet
But you achieved that.
I would cause them to sleep. And when they sleep, you know that sleep whereby somebody can come and take everything in the house, and nobody's aware. Then they wake up the following day, the house is empty. That's how I would send a spirit of slumber. So they would sleep like that. I go and do whatever I have to do, then I come back. So by the time they are waking up, I'm already in the house. Yeah, so, but sometimes she would find the doors open, and she would complain, hey, you people, we forgot to close. We forgot to lock ourselves in the house. Supposing a thief entered. Yeah, she didn't know that I would sometimes forget. Because maybe I'm rushing, and I want them, by the time the spell is lifting off, I'm inside the house. Yeah, so that's how I lived with my mother. So when she found out through the pastors complaining, teachers were complaining, I never go to school, but she's very much aware that I go to school every day. But in between home to school, I would go and practice. You know, we had a group of dancers, so we'd go and practice on how we are going to perform in maybe a show, an event, things like that. But at school, the teachers would try to complain, and my mother would not understand why they keep complaining, yet I get out of home in school uniform. Yeah, so that's when she realized something was not okay with me, and started now calling intercessors to pray. Yeah.
At that point you were 18 years.
Yes.
Going back, what would you have done differently, knowing what you know now?
I think I would have started by building my relationship with God more than with people, because it's the people that I trusted that gave me or sold me to the enemy. So if I had an opportunity to go back, I would just concentrate on building my relationship with God before trusting people. Yes, I would not trust anybody. Yeah.
Going back, the first interview we did, you mentioned that your grandmother really disliked your mother. Are there reasons why she did this?
Yes, the reason is she wanted my dad to marry another lady who was a sorcerer. And then the second reason is because my mother was prayerful, and every time she would pray, my grandmother's witchcraft would get disorganized. So my mother was looked at as an enemy of the family because she was always praying. And then she would also not allow us to participate in the family things. When I talk about family things, it's witchcraft. Yeah, so she would not allow us being with that kind of Christian background and foundation. Yeah, she would not allow us to participate in witchcraft. So because of all that, my grandmother hated her with a passion. Yeah.
When she was getting married into this family, did she know the background of the family?
She had no idea.
How did she find out there was witchcraft?
Because of the attacks she experienced also, even in her marriage, she was attacked. Yeah, my grandmother really fought that marriage. She wanted to see my dad and mom separate. Yeah, but through prayers, God preserved that marriage. They are still together.
That's good. You mentioned that you have worked, in the first episode that we did, that you have worked for so many years with the enemy. What are some of the people they target, and how do they target these people? Yeah,
the enemy goes for the best. He looks for a person who has a bright destiny, a person whose future is bright, and then he wants to use that person. Instead of that person glorifying God, he wants to use that person to build his kingdom. So he will look for somebody who is talented. In a family, he will look for the most brilliant child. He will look for the most gifted or talented person. Even when you read in the Bible the story of Joseph, he was fought because of his destiny. So people who have a bright future are the people that are fought. When I look at the things I'm doing now and the things I was supposed to do, I see that I was supposed to do these things, but on the other side, supporting the king or building the kingdom of darkness. Because when I was initiated, they started grooming me. My grandmother and my relatives who are into witchcraft started grooming me. They told me I was going to be influential, I was going to be powerful, and my auntie was going to connect me to a certain organization, and I was supposed to help in promoting some agendas that I see are trending now, and there is money, a lot of money involved in it. So I see I'm still a social worker. They wanted me to be a social worker, but they wanted me to work to build the kingdom of darkness. And now I'm working to help people, make people understand how bad the enemy is and how they can defend themselves from the enemy. And I see myself sometimes being invited to meet some people, and I'm like, wow, I was supposed to meet these people, but for a bad cause. And now I'm meeting them for the opposite cause. Like I would be on Tuko trying to advocate for LGBTQ and all those things and all those agendas. Yeah, but now I'm here to tell people, no, this is not the way. This is a setup. Yeah, so that's basically
how they target, because they know the brighter future.
They know people who have influence. They know people whose destiny is bright. People who, can perform. He wants people who can perform well in his kingdom. Yeah, even celebrities. No celebrity who has sold their soul is not talented. If you look at them, they are talented, they are gifted, they are creative. Yeah, so he will get those celebrities. They are nice looking. Yeah.
So as a parent, when you raise a child that has been targeted and probably fallen into this, what are the signs that a parent can see and know that this child is not okay?
Yeah, one, before even they start, the process of delivering, they have to help their children to prevent them from getting initiated. There are many ways in which children are getting initiated now. One, in schools. These children are getting initiated in schools, especially single-sexed schools. It's like a breeding ground for the enemy. Also, on television, the programs that these children are watching, most of these programs are used, like the people who are funding these programs know their motive. They want to train these children to rebel, to serve the enemy. There are so many subliminal messages in those cartoons. And yeah, so parents have to watch out the kind of content that their children are watching, one, the kind of schools their children are going to, because there are some schools that are already a sellout. They are receiving funding, and they will teach their children all sorts of rubbish. So they also have to play that role. I know we are busy looking for money, but they have to spend time instilling values that they want to see in their children. So now when it comes to now helping a child who has strayed, it's very easy when the child is connected to a parent. You can see the changes. They can open up to you. They can come and open up and tell you, Mommy, I'm experiencing this. Even if they tell you, Mommy, I broke my virginity, don't beat the child and make the child feel like she's useless. Rather, encourage her to abstain, or, you know, do the right thing. Yeah, so I think prayer is also key. They should pray for their children and teach them the word and the ways of God. Yeah.
So this is for your child as a parent.
Yes.
But how do you know if, as an individual, you're being targeted and being attacked by the enemy?
Yeah, by the series or the events that are happening in your life. I know there are seasons in life. There is a season when somebody is looking for a job, they are jobless. There is a season when a person is single. But again, if that cycle is not ending, then it's not normal, because those seasons, everything has an end. So when you look at your friends and you're looking at yourself, the friends you are with are now doing well. Everybody has a job. Everybody is progressing in life, and you're stagnant. It's like nothing is happening in your life. Then those are red flags. These are things you have to look at and know, no, I'm not supposed to be like this. Even you inside, in your spirit, you know that you are not supposed to be like that. You know that you're brilliant. You know that you are performing well in class. You have good grades, and even the students that were not performing well are achieving certain things. And it's like you're an empty vessel. When it gets to that point where whatever you're doing is failing, you know, you're trying to get into a relationship that will lead into marriage. Instead, you're getting pregnant and the men are running away and things are happening. Yeah, that's when you have to sit down and re-strategize. When I talk about re-strategize, is reflect on your life. See where you open the door for the enemy, and start praying and closing all those doors and meditating on the word of God and seeking deliverance. Yeah.
When you speak about opening the door for the enemy, what are some of the things that people do unknowingly that open these doors?
One of the greatest weapons that the enemy uses to enter into people's lives is through sex. People who sleep around open their lives so much to the enemy. Like, there are people who steal people's wombs. There are people who steal people's destinies. Yes, through sex. If a man, let's say a man is a ritualist, and he has been told to sacrifice maybe somebody's womb in order for his business to work, he doesn't mind throwing money to a girl as long as he can get her lured into having sex with him. And most of those men, when they sleep with a lady, they don't sleep with her again, because their mission is done. And these ladies who are being used as rituals, it's after that experience that they feel that emptiness, and it's like something in their life changes. A person who was morally upright becomes like the opposite of who they were. And they know, I've interacted with women who tell me, I no longer understand myself. I don't understand myself anymore. It's like something happened to me. I don't know who this person is anymore. Yeah, so they feel it, but they cannot trace where the problem is. Yeah, so those are the women. They try to have children. A lady will tell you, I've miscarried 10 times. I've miscarried 12 times. I want to have a child. I cannot. Every time she's miscarriaging, she's servicing the altar of the other man who lured her into having sex. And that man is prospering. He's maybe a member of parliament somewhere. He's maybe a prominent businessman in the city. He's maybe, you know, things are doing well for him, but at the expense of the other person's womb.
So one is through sex.
One through sex, other through covenants. There are families that have covenants. I've interacted with families where they tell me that there is a man who came to me. He said that we don't live up to 42. Every person in our family has to die. And me, I am 40, I have diabetes. That's why I'm coming for deliverance. We are all financially okay. We have families, but we don't live beyond 42. Yeah, so there are families that are covenanted to the enemy. My family was also covenanted. We were successful, but we were not supposed to get married. So that was a covenant. Even if the ladies would try, you know, when you're financially okay, you can even get to a point where you can marry a man. But it's like a painful marriage. So they end up giving up and say, since I have children with this man, and let me just concentrate on my children and leave this man alone. Yeah, so covenants and also witchcraft. Witchcraft is when somebody looks at your achievements, or they see your future is bright, and they, because of jealousy, they decide to fight your progress. They say, no, this person cannot achieve this. This person cannot go beyond this. So they start now using diabolical powers against that person. And they get point of contacts, maybe photos, maybe, you know, documents. It can be clothes, something that is connected to you. And then they start sending powers to work against that person's life. So sometimes it's witchcraft, covenants, and then also the doors that people open. Yeah, the kind of places they go to, the altars they go to, you know, you can innocently, you know, open your life to the enemy. The kind of places a person goes to, like me, I found myself going to this secular artist who was a devil worshipper, and now my life changed from that time. You know, I ended up getting bound even more. So even the kind of people we allow in our lives also matter, because some people are devil's agents. They are there to initiate and destroy people's lives. So it's not only through sex, but even through the friends that we get, the food that you eat. You know, some people just eat everywhere. You know, there are some people who use food to destroy people's lives. They can just put witchcraft or anything, you know. Yeah.
So how does one protect themselves? You may be a prayerful person, but someone out there wants to probably make a covenant against you or cast spells on you. How do you protect yourself against these attacks?
Yeah, personally, through my experience, is to build a personal relationship with God. God is faithful. He's not like men. He will always be faithful. So when a person is doing something wrong to you, even when you don't know, the Spirit of God will lead you to avoid that person. You just feel like you, even if it's it's something that is enticing or it's looking good, you just feel like it's not exciting you. You know, even some friends just go by the grace of God. He will just allow them to go. You know, so that he can preserve you. Yeah. So I learned through meditating on the Word of God, through the content that I allow my spirit to consume, and then also through the atmosphere I create for myself. If I'm free, I have to put worship music. So that worship music will create an atmosphere that I want. I want to be in an atmosphere where the enemy cannot easily access me. And then also the kind of people I surround myself with, the friends, also are very important. I look for friends that will add value to me. You know, I'll give an example. I love Pastor T. You know, when I'm with him, I feel he's adding value to me. There are some friends that, you know, you surround yourself with that will not take your life down. Instead, they'll add something to your life. Yes. Yeah.
You said that when you were still serving the enemy, you had been sent to destroy marriages, to destroy people's careers and their financial stability. How would you target these people? Okay.
Yeah. First of all, it's very unfortunate. Many people don't know that that life is spiritual, basically. So people are just living their lives, and that is what the enemy uses. That's why the Bible says that my people perish due to lack of knowledge. Yeah, so a person wakes up in the morning, they go to the office to work, they come back like nothing is happening. Yet the people that they are competing with, before they do anything, they first have to go to their altars and consult with spirits. So you find that a person is working in an office for years and no promotion. Instead, maybe things are happening and their salary is being reduced. And another person just comes to work, and within a few months, this person is being promoted. And there's not, if you compare the effort and the work they are putting in, this one has been working faithfully and more than this one that is being promoted. So life is spiritual, and everything revolves around altars. But you choose where you want to be depending on how much you're willing to put in. Even in Christianity, the people that depend so much on the energy that they get from being in the presence of God, those people are not like these churchgoers. You find that this person is flourishing, this person is creating companies, this person is being invited to go in big offices for big deals, and then this one who's just going to church is just an employee, and they are getting, salary late. Those are you just see the results of the things that are happening, the events that are happening in your life, and then you start examining yourself, because life is totally spiritual. Even businesses to trend and flourish, most businesses are built through altars. So even to maintain them, they are maintained through altars. That's why you see, whenever I'm going to work with a company or a business, I have to look at the logo, because the logo will tell you where the altar or the source of the power that these people are depending on is from. So be very careful with the logos. You see a sun god on a hotel, just know that that is their source of power. You see Medusa on a clothing company, clothing brand, you just know that that is their source of power. You see Baphomet on a drink, just know that that is their source of power. So you just look at the logos of these companies, those big organizations. You see, like there is a mall here in Kenya, their logo is 666. You just know that that is their source. That is where they get their wealth from. So when you're very much aware that life is spiritual, you also now live a spiritual life where you build your relationship with God. You spend some time praying in your office. You create an environment, an atmosphere that is conducive, that you can feel free to fellowship with God at any time. You don't allow even work to distance you from God. Yes, that's when you avoid those satanic attacks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I remember when we spoke here last time, you mentioned that the devil hates marriages and he fights them. And during my previous interviews, I've spoken to people who say that men run away from them, and these people struggle a lot with spiritual husbands and masturbation. Is there a connection to that?
Yeah. First of all, marriage is an institution designed by God, and anything that is designed by God has to be fought by the enemy. Yeah, so when you get married, you don't just sit and relax. Some women even stop looking good in their homes because they are already married. They think that this man has nowhere to go.
I have arrived.
Yes, I have arrived. So marriage is something that both of you have to work on and make sure it works. And it works basically if God is at the center. They are always making a woman look like a victim. Yes, I believe there are women who are being victimized, and there are men also who are victims. So it's something that should be balanced, because it's the agenda of the enemy to make this woman look like a victim always, and the man to look like the oppressor. So when you get into marriage with that mentality, it's difficult to stay there. Trust and faithfulness, those are other things that, when you open the door through immorality, maybe there is adultery, someone is opening a door, you expect that out there where you're going, the enemy is also trying to see how he can destroy something that God has built. So it is through those people that either it's both sides, even the women cheat and the men also cheat. So it's both sides. So the person you can be going to can be a satanic agent, and this person can easily cause a man to forget about his children, forget about the wife, hate anything to do with his real family, the God-given family. And then that's why you find a man started when he was poor with his wife, then they make money, and then he walks away from his family. And it comes with people not being contented with what they have, people wanting more. It's selfishness and greed. Yes. So I think those are the ways that the enemy is using, to fight these marriages. Yeah.
Are spiritual husbands a real thing?
Yes, they are real.
How so?
They come through initiations. There are some families that are already covenanted, as I explained. Yeah, so through those covenants, these spirits know that they have a right to attack this person at any time, you know. Yeah, so, and those spirits are very jealous. They don't want to share a person with a human being. So what they do, they frustrate every relationship, every marriage a person tries to get. They frustrate actually they don't only frustrate relationships, they also frustrate the person's progress. They don't want that person to be successful. Like, I'll give an example. When the person who is covenanted to a spiritual husband is trying to get a visa, maybe to go to America or Canada, any country, the night before they get a visa, they are defiled. And when they get that attack, maybe the spirit has slept with them, there is a way it drains them, and then by the time they are going for the interview, they are not themselves. It's like it puts something on them that will even cause the person who's going to interview them to feel like, no, I should not give this person a visa. So many of them that have come to me, they are experiencing that spirit of rejection. They are being frustrated when they are going to go for a job interview. That spirit comes. It comes when they are about to make progress in life. Yeah, so it's like it's there to supervise and to make sure that it's on assignment. This person does not go anywhere.
Finally, you had mentioned that while you were still in the kingdom of darkness, you did astral projection. What is that, and how did you achieve it? Also, what was your first experience?
Yes. Now, my first experience to astral project was when I was 8.
And what is astral projection?
Astral projection is when the soul gets out of the body and it is sent on missions, on assignments. So we are designed spirit, soul, and body. And the soul is your spiritual body. So the enemy has the ability to use somebody's soul for whatever he feels like he wants it for. So my grandmother, she took me to a graveyard, as I explained in my testimony. And when she took me to that graveyard, she used witchcraft, and my soul got out of the body, and I started now meeting with demons that she said were my ancestors. So when I met with those demons, after it took about 8 hours, yes, I came back into my body. I was very scared. And my grandmother told me that it's going to be happening to me. So it's something that I should not be afraid of. I should just be willing to just get out. Whenever I feel like I'm getting out, I should just isolate myself from people, and then now create an environment where I am safe. Because what happens is when somebody gets out of the body and their body is moved, when they come back, they can't enter the body. So meaning that person can die. So many people who are into that covenant and the astral project, they have rooms where they say nobody is supposed to enter this room. Whether you are a worker or my wife, or I don't care who you are, you're not supposed to enter this room. It's only me. The reason as to why they do that is because they want a place where nobody can come and move them when they have traveled or journeyed spiritually, so that when they come back, they can easily enter their bodies. There is a Congolese musician who died by the wife moving the body, and the fellow artists were disappointed with the wife. They told the wife, you killed him, why did you touch his body? You know, so these people are able to get out. They do whatever they are supposed to do in the spirit realm, meet, make assignments, do missions, and then they come back in their body. When they are going to like record a music album, they travel, and then they journey, meet spirits, they get some songs from the spirit realm, and then they come and go to the studio. When they go to the studio and release that sound is so new, it's so nice. Like, people cannot, even if you're saved and they play that song, you feel at least you're dancing somehow in your spirit. You feel, yeah, because it's spiritual, and we are spirit beings. So these people know how to tap in the spiritual realm, and then they come back into their bodies. Yeah.
How was your particular incident? Is it a painful experience? Do you see both the spiritual and the physical?
Yeah, it's God has not created us to do that. Mm-hmm. When it happens, it affects you. Like me, I was always sickly because I was doing something that I'm not supposed to do. And then also, your life is in danger because anytime anything can happen. Just imagine you've astral projected, somebody moves your hand. You've not yet come back, you know. Like, there's a time I astral projected and I was causing an accident. And I was doing it right in front of my parents. But that time I survived narrowly, because from the time of astral projecting and causing the vehicle to overturn, and then I came back into my body. As soon as I entered my body, my mom pushed me, because the vehicle was overturning, coming towards us. So by the time she pushed me, I entered my body. I survived narrowly. In fact, she even saw that I was scared. She thought I was shocked because of what I had seen. But I was shocked because I knew that I was almost going to die because of my mom. And that, instead of me thanking her for saving me from the vehicle falling on me, I just hated her and resented her. So, do you have to touch me so that, you know, so that I know that you're so fearful? And, you know, it's like, no, calm down. I know you're shocked. I'm like, I'm not shocked. Everybody's not shocked like you, you know. So she knew what you were doing. Yeah. So she was wondering, why is she rude? Why is she like that? You know? Yeah. So that whole experience. And then you're filled with fear. Because you have now no control over your body. Anything can happen. If the devil wants to take your soul out, he can take you out at any time. You know, they totally have no control over themselves. Yeah.
Wow. As we wrap up, do you think the music industry has been infiltrated by the devil, both secular and gospel? So
much. In fact, that artist who took me to Satan recently kissed his brother publicly. And it was on his concert. And he was with that same brother when they were initiating me. So that shows you that they are pushing the agenda. And that same agenda that I was also talking about, you know, that evil agenda of homosexuality. Because it's you putting life at a place of waste. And when you do that, there's no co-creation. There's no increase on humanity. It's like putting an end to humanity. Just imagine if every woman is marrying a woman and every man is marrying a man, how will humanity continue? Yeah, so when the music industry, if a person is not worshiping God, just know they are worshiping the enemy of God.
What is the one advice you would give Christians who've decided, I want to protect myself against attack from the devil, or they have already been attacked and they're probably struggling with freeing themselves? What is the one thing you would tell them?
The first thing you should do is to build your personal relationship with God. That's what I did, because the amount of attacks I get, even today, I don't think the enemy is happy with the information that I release. So to build your relationship with God is your security. God will always protect you from your enemies. Yeah, so even in Psalms 91, it says, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So when you're abiding in the shadow of the Almighty, no matter what the enemy does, you're safe. You're protected, yes. The president has security guards and people protecting him. So even if you hate him, even if you voted for the other member, even if you want to kill him, there's nothing you can do because he's guarded, he is protected. So that is what is going to save people. Just your personal relationship with God, live a prayerful life, meditate on his word, and do everything that he has instructed you to do. There, the enemy has nothing he can do to you.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So there is hope. You do not, your life is not doomed.
Your life is not doomed. As long as you're doing what God has told you to do, as long as you're meditating on his word, as long as you're praying, as long as you've built your relationship with him, you're doing the right thing. I always believe in helping the needy. You're helping the needy, even if you don't have much, but at least give them hope. Say something to them that will, take them somewhere. There, if you help the needy, you're lending to God. And there's no way you can lend to God and he doesn't pay back. The Bible says he's a rewarder. So he will reward you definitely. For my children, I had miscarried and I had been married for a while without children. So I started now talking to the widows, helping the orphans, and God gave me my children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Erica, you're full of wisdom and so many lessons that you have gathered throughout your experiences and so willingly sharing them with us. We appreciate you.
Amen.
And we thank you for your time.
Amen.
You're always opening your doors for us to just pop by and get a few insights here and there about your life and, what decisions we can make to be on the right side. And the right side, we mean God's side.
Amen. Thank you for coming also and availing your platform.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. But before we conclude, there's one question that was sent to us that we would like her husband, Bamboo, to respond to. So don't go away. The issue of Freemasons.
Yes.
Is that in line with God's will or against God's will? What is your opinion?
Well, first and foremost, I'm not against people, and I think people join different fraternities and brotherhoods just for the sake of feeling, like they belong, and they join these clubs or secret societies to gain some kind of advantage sometimes. Sometimes they're attracted because some of these same secret societies engage in philanthropy and giving back to communities, and that gives them a very positive light. But if you really want to know about a society or a movement or a brotherhood, you can read about some of the things their founders have written. So it should be understood that like Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity. And then the Freemason embarks on a quest to learn or to head towards the light. And during this quest, he goes through degrees. So the degrees that we know of are 33. The ones I have read that they go through are 33. And one of their most prolific writers was by the name of Albert Pike. Now, Albert Pike wrote a book called Morals and Dogma. Morals and Dogma. So you can read plainly in his own writings. In fact, if I just quote his own writings, so it's not like it's hearsay. In his book, Morals and Dogma, he says, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. It is he who bears the light.
Really?
And with its splendors intolerable, blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls, doubt it not. So Albert Pike wrote those words himself in Morals and Dogma, which is like the Bible for Freemasons. Okay, so, and he's saying that the light of Lucifer blinds selfish souls. So he's kind of praising Lucifer's light. And you know that the Freemason takes a quest of pursuing the light, so it is finally revealed to him when he gets probably to the 33rd degree that the God that they believe in or the God that they are serving is Lucifer. So meanwhile, all of the other ones on the lower levels, they don't know that yet. Yes, because you have to believe in some form of a deity or a god to become a Freemason. And it appears as if they're doing all of this philanthropy. But over the years, as you rise through the levels, it will be finally revealed that the god they're serving is actually Lucifer. Yes. So I think they should know that. I think they should just read. That book is readily available for anyone. Yeah. So it's not an accusation. It's something that comes from their own publishing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Are there some other sects that are equally, secret societies that lure people into joining them innocently, not knowing what they're doing? And how can people tell them apart from the genuine, organizations that people can associate themselves with?
Yes, I think there are many of these sects. I think like the Rotary Club appears to be one of them. There are so many, Lions Club, but of course, outwardly and through their public relations, they appear to be doing philanthropy and giving back to communities and helping and taking groceries to people, things like that. But when you rise through the ranks, finally, it will be revealed to you that the one they serve is Lucifer. So I think one should use their discernment also. They should try and God is really good. If you ask him a question, he'll answer you. He'll reveal it to you in very many different ways. He'll say, Lord, just ask and say, God, is this something that you approve of? Or are these people, do they have some kind of operation behind the scenes that is unacceptable in your sight? And he will reveal them to you. He will expose them to you. Even when you meet a life partner, you can ask about this person. You can ask God, who is this person? Show me who they are. Yeah, is this the right person? He'll show you. He'll show it to you. You'll be amazed how much information that he'll give you, because he wants the best for you and he doesn't want you to be exposed. Yeah, so I think the information is out there. If you really want to know, you can find out. There are other authors like Manly P. Hall who wrote about Freemasonry and really revealed that that's the God who they serve. So and I'm not here to castigate them or to guilt shame them or anything like that. But it's good to know, like, hey, why would you hide if what you're doing is right? Right? If you claim to be in the light, then be in the light. Yeah. Be secrets. Yes, exactly. Then you already know you are in something you have no business being in. This is darkness disguising itself as light. And that's what the Bible said about the devil, that he transforms himself into an angel of light and pretends to be good and pretends to be philanthropic. Meanwhile, his true intentions are hidden and concealed until it's too late. So, they need to know that that God loves them, and if they're still alive, there's a way out. You could be on the 33rd degree, but you can still repent and you can still get out while you are alive. Because the moment you cross the threshold, life into death, that's it. That's judgment right there. There's no coming back from that. Salvation is for the living. It's not for the dead. So I think as long as you're alive, you have a chance, but don't push it. Yeah. Don't push his grace. Yeah.
There's a lot of information that you have, and you and your wife have started a whole ministry to actually just bring out all this information to people. How can people get this information? Are there books? How can people get all this information?
Yes.
You can talk about it here today.
Yes, absolutely. We have written books together. There's the Erica series, which is Erica Part 1 to Erica Part 4. And Part 5 is about to be released.
Awesome.
Yes. So they can check it out on our website, lifeisspiritual.org, lifeisspiritual.org. And just under the books tab, you'll find, all of our books. And I've also written The Truth About Money. And it is a handbook that really just talks about where money comes from. Where did the concept come from? It gives details concerning capitalism and the spiritual implication of it, and how nobody just rises. There are spiritual forces involved. And nobody just stays down. there are still spiritual forces involved because life is spiritual. And there's a reason why they do not teach about wealth or money in schools. They'll teach you the denominations. This is a penny. This is a this is a 5 shilling. This is a 20. They'll teach you this is a quarter. This is a dollar. But they will not teach you the fractional reserve banking system. They don't teach you fiat banking. They don't teach you where money comes from in terms of central banking and how the central bank governs all of the other commercial banks and how this system works and how wealth is created. They do not teach you that because they do not want you to be wealthy. They want you to be an employee. And so they'll tell you things like, go to school, study hard, so that when you graduate, you can get a good job. So you see, they were pushing you along the assembly line. yeah, to keep you there. So there is a Bible mandate of how money should be treated, how it should be viewed, and how God's plan for you is not for you to be a slave. And wealth is part of that. And so the principles in the kingdom of God also discuss those things. And so what I did was I assembled them and made it easy and put it in one book so that it's convenient, because people are going into these secret societies and things because they feel the bondage. They feel the darkness. They feel like, hey, look, my life is supposed to be fruitful, but something is holding me back. So there's a way out from the system of corruption that is pulling everyone in the opposite direction. But people need to know how it works. That's why he says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So people must, invest in their minds. If you can invest just a little bit in your mind, he's not even asking you to take a 4-year course on economics and study rocket science. I haven't studied any of that stuff, but I'm not complaining about money. I'm not worried about it. Because he showed me the principles, I applied them, and my goodness, my mind is blown about how this thing works. And so I believe that everyone should have an opportunity to read this book, not because I wrote it, but because of the combination of scriptures and real life testimony that I experienced myself, and I tried it and it works.
Awesome.
Yes.
Right. There are people who would want to get these books. You have mentioned there's a website where they can get these books.
Yes.
Are there things that you also give to these people? Are there merchandise?
Yes, absolutely. They can come to our website and lifeisspiritual.org and just check out, just tap on shop, and there's all kinds of, there's stuff like shirts and hoodies. Matter of fact, there are hoodies just like this.
Come in different colors?
Yes, different colors and different sizes. So they can check these out. They're for ladies. There's even pink for ladies, or gray and black and double XL and triple XL for men. We also have the t-shirts, which are really cool. Yep. Life is spiritual. It's a great way to get a conversation started because life is spiritual. It is. Yeah. And it's a great way to, lead people to Christ and tell them like, hey, the things you're going through in life have a spiritual origin. They're not just physical. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, amen. Yes. Thank you so much. We'll definitely have to give you some. Yes. So these are available. There's cups, there's pens, there are mugs, for coffee mugs, and just all kinds of products. Just go ahead and go through, and people can, have them shipped directly to their homes. And they're not expensive. They're cheap. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Bamboo, for taking your time and, explaining to us all these things that we keep coming back to ask about.
Amen.
We appreciate your time and your insights on all these topics that we keep bringing back to you and your wife.
Amen.
All right. And there you have it. If you have not heard it, please visit their website and see some of these things that you can get your hands on. There are so many books. More are coming your way. We will pin the link to the website, their contact information, where you can reach out to them directly and ask as many questions as you want. Thank you so much for watching us till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira. And until next time, keep it Tuko. And life is spiritual. you.